Good evening. My name is Dave Buckley, and I have your student for Algebra 1 this year. Just want to talk to you about a few things about me. I've taught for 15 years here in Quincy, and I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I believe, was here at junior high teaching eighth grade math. I've taught Algebra 1 and Math 8 here. And then again, like I said, 6 or 7 years at Baldwin, and I taught in the gifted program over there, and I taught fourth, fifth, and sixth grade math there. And then I also taught a semester when I first came back to Quincy after college at the alternative high school, and I taught eighth grade through seniors in high school for math there. So I've kind of seen where the kids start there in fourth grade all the way up through a senior in high school. So I think that's to the kids' benefit of I know where they should come in to this class, and then I also know where they need to be when they should leave me for next year. So um, I mentioned it just a little bit ago. I came back from Eastern Illinois University, which is where I got my bachelor's degree in 2005. And then my degree was actually in elementary education. And then I just finished up my master's degree this past summer from Eastern Illinois University in curriculum and instruction. My wife is an English and theater teacher over at Quincy High, and because of the theater stuff that she does, I get the opportunity to work with a lot of kids over there, and I help build all of the sets and do a lot of the lighting, design, and that kind of stuff at the high school theater program. When we're not at the high school or at junior high working, my wife and I have a daughter who's 4 years old, and she takes a lot of our time, and we love to spend as much time with her as we get. And she is a world of fun and excitement. But unfortunately, because of our hectic schedules, sometimes she has to tag along with us to school a lot. So, if I have any free time, which is rare, I do love to watch and play any kind of sports. I enjoy working on cars with my dad and the rest of my family, and I work on house projects and different odds and ends all the time. So, as far as curriculum for this year, for Algebra 1, we've got linear equations, then we deal with linear inequalities, then we jump into functions, then linear functions, data correlation and causation, systems of equations, and then exponents. That's typically what we get through. If you want to know more detail there, you can read the screen, but trying to keep this as quick and simple as possible. So, as far as homework, this website here is the junior high homework webpage. Anytime you need anything from me, you just click on my name over there on the right hand side where it says staff, which is Buckley, Buckley. If students use their time wisely during school, they should have very little homework coming home. I typically assign homework twice a week. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less, just depending on the week. But typically, I would say twice a week. But like I said, if kids are using their time in school wisely, they really shouldn't have a whole lot of homework coming home. I do try to update my homework page as much as possible. I know this year with the COVID stuff, we're also doing a lot of stuff through Microsoft Teams, and so you can always check on stuff there too. As far as grading goes, hopefully you're aware of this. This is not something new, but practice grades at junior high are worth 40% of the grade, and performance is worth 60% of the grade. So practice consists of any of those worksheets that are going home, a couple times a week, where performance is more of the quiz and tests. We had done some project-based stuff in the past, but with COVID this year, that's not going to let us do as much as normal. So for late work, our PLC has decided for 1 day late with no penalty, so they can turn it in for 100% the day that it's due or the next day. I try my best to remind students that if they didn't turn it in the first day, to turn it in to me the second day. This year, I've been accepting a little bit of stuff by paper, and then most of the stuff we're trying to get into turning everything online through Microsoft Teams. I know with math that's a little bit hard, and so I've been asking students to actually do a paper copy and then take a picture of it and upload it to Microsoft Teams. So I know sometimes they have issues with that, or maybe I can't see the paper properly, or whatever the circumstances this year. And so I've been very lenient on late work, um, and I've tried to not take off points. However, after the next day that it was supposed to be due, students can still turn in any work up until the unit test, and they can get half credit, which is 50%. I know it's still an F, however, a 0% compared to a 50% is a big difference. Okay. I alluded to this just a little bit ago, the absent work. Please talk with me. We'll work together for any sort of extended absences. I know that is going to be an issue this year with COVID. We've got quite a few students out that are quarantined. So just be upfront. Let me know what's going on. And most of the stuff you should be able to access through Microsoft Teams. I've been putting up notes there that are filled in, that kind of stuff. But I know that's not the same as having an actual teacher. So, anything that I can do to help out, just let me know. We'll try our best to do that. If it's like a general absence where you're gone a day or two, typically what I do is I just expect all work to be completed as normal, and I want it as soon as possible. And typically what I would do is number of days plus one is how many days you get to turn that in. Okay. Like I said, all of that this year is kind of up in the air, and we do the best we can to accommodate any of this craziness. So just talk to me, let me know what's going on, and we'll get through it. Okay. Algebra has a textbook. All students have an online textbook. I do have a class set of books, but we're not passing those out this year. I'm actually teaching 2 algebra classes, and I only have 30 books. And so, with that being said, they do have the online version of the book here. Honestly, the kids don't have to open it up a ton. The notes that we take in class are almost word for word out of the algebra textbook. So as long as they have their notes with them, they shouldn't really need that book, but they do have that. I believe I passed out their login information like the first week of school. If for some reason they don't have that, please let me know. Get a hold of me by email, through Microsoft Teams, whatever it might be, and I will look it up and I will get it to you. If there's any extra help that's needed, students can get help after school or before school. Obviously, the notes that we take in school are a big priority. Like I said, I'm also trying to put those up online through Microsoft Teams. You can use your online textbook, as always. Logging into Microsoft Teams, shooting me a picture of it or email. I can usually, that goes directly to my phone and I can get back to a student pretty quickly most of the time. Khan Academy is also a good site to use. All you have to do is just kind of search for the topic that we're dealing with or the specific question we're dealing with. Obviously, Google. A lot of times, if you type in the topic or the exact question, a lot of times it'll come up with an answer or at least walk you through it or something similar. All students also have a login for Alex. I have given those subscriptions, or not subscriptions, but logins out as well. This year, we're actually asking for students to log in and do 5 topics per week on Alex program, and that's just a little something to help fill in those gaps and that kind of stuff that we may have missed from fourth quarter of last year. Okay. Students and parents, you guys can always contact me through my email. My email is a little bit different than most emails in Quincy Public Schools. So mine is Buck, B-U-C-K, 1031 at qps.org. Like I said, that goes directly to my phone, and I usually respond as soon as I see it. Okay, so sometimes that's 5 minutes, sometimes that's a couple hours, just depending on what's going on in my life. For online resources, again, I've already talked about the homework webpage, but that's a huge one. Like I said, I keep everything up to date on there. and you can see what's coming up, what we did in class, what's homework. You guys should be used to seeing that. That's nothing new. We have alex.com, like I said, 5 topics per week, plus all of our normal just stuff on a weekly basis. Khan Academy is a good place to go, and the Realize there is the online textbook for algebra. Obviously, Microsoft Teams, and then Skyward Access. As far as Skyward goes, try to keep that updated as much as possible. If you notice something that's not synced up correctly, or a student thinks they've turned something in or anything like that, again, just reach out to me by email. Let me know. I'm kind of old school here and like to keep a hard copy of a grade book just in case something were to happen to the online one. And so sometimes I, take a paper that's late grade and put it in my hard copy book, but I don't get it transferred into the Skyward Access. So just again, open communication. Let me know, hey, my son or daughter says they turned this in. Sometimes it's, I don't know if I believe them or not, or whatever the case is. But just let me know, and I'll look into it and get back to you as soon as possible. A lot of times it is something that I've already graded and just forgot to upload it onto Skyward. So let me know what I can do to help out there. Okay. Other thing is, I do try to keep Skyward up to date quite frequently. I don't know if I could say daily, but it is often. So again, that's another reason if you're not seeing things come up there, or like I said, your son or daughter or your student has said, I've turned this in and it's not showing up, please let me know, because chances are either I've made a mistake or there's been some sort of confusion between your student and I. So that can will be the end of the video. And if you guys need anything at all, my email address is there again. I appreciate you listening and watching this video. And I wish we could see each other in person, but unfortunately, we have a very strange year ahead of us. But I do appreciate you guys being here and watching this and taking the time out of your busy schedule to show your students that you care about their education. So thanks again.